My family ignored me for 23 years. They said my PTSD service dog would make guests uncomfortable at the wedding, so I made sure my appearance did instead. First off, I'm okay, physically, anyway. I don't even know who this is really for, but I need to get it out of my head. The story of my birth is complicated. I was the reason 2 marriages ended, and my family has never hidden their resentment about it. Only one of my brothers has been drunk enough to say it outright, but I know the feeling exists in all of them to some extent. I'm much younger than my siblings. A lot of things were out of our control, so I made excuses. But I've never truly felt like I belonged. As a kid, I told myself we'd reconnect when I was older and we could talk like equals. Now, at 23, I sometimes get glimpses of that life I imagined, but in the end, I'm always just too much of a burden for them. I hear everything secondhand through my father. I found out about my niece's car accident from him. Same with another niece's miscarriage. I even found out my oldest brother had a brain tumor during a phone call with my dad. He didn't even realize I didn't know. I've known for a while I'm the only one making any effort. But for the sake of hope, I kept giving them chances to include me. I'm done doing that now. I have a psychiatric service dog who helps me manage CPTSD. He's the best thing to ever happen to me. He didn't just save my life, he's made it possible for me to live. He senses panic attacks and uses pressure therapy to calm me. He stops me from hurting myself during meltdowns and stays with me until all I hear is his snoring on my lap. Because of him, I can do things like grocery shop on my own. He's my soulmate, and everyone who knows me understands how much he means to me. My dating life isn't great, so I figured I'd ask my niece if I could bring him as my +1 to her wedding later this month. I'll be flying cross-country and I can't travel alone without him, so he's coming anyway. I thought it wouldn't hurt to see if he could avoid being stuck in the hotel room all night. Technically, I don't need him during the event since I know everyone attending and I'll be drinking to cope. But I thought letting him wear a bow tie, eat some steak, and dance a little would be a fun reward for helping me through the flight. I stressed to her several times that I knew it was an unusual request, and that she could say no if needed. She enthusiastically said yes. She even said if I found a date, he could still come. I was thrilled. For once, I felt included, seen, and cared for. Then my dad called. He said no one wanted to cause tension, but the bride's mother wasn't okay with a dog at the venue. I explained he's a trained service dog and wouldn't disrupt anything, and of course I'd remove him if needed. Still, they didn't want him there. I was tired of hearing everyone's opinions through my father. He won't be around forever. Sooner or later, they'll have to speak to me directly. I had one condition. I needed to hear it from the bride herself. She told me yes, and unless she said otherwise, I assumed it was still fine. I never heard anything back. My dad dropped hints when we spoke, but I reminded him what I expected. When I RSVP'd, I put my dog down as my +1 to make it clear I wasn't backing out. At this point, I didn't even care if she said no. I just wanted her to say it herself. Instead, I woke up to an email from my dad. Not even a text, an email. He said my niece didn't want to be the bad guy, but my dog wasn't welcome at the wedding. He added that he could still stay at the hotel with me if I wanted. Something broke inside me. I think that's when I realized they were never going to respect me the way I wanted. I've always been the one to reach out. Now, the one time I asked to be spoken to directly, I got an email. Family means everything to me. But over the years, I've had to redefine what family looks like. And if, for now, it's just a broken person and their service dog, I'm lucky to have even that. So I'm going to the wedding. And afterward, I'm cutting contact for good. And the worst part? I doubt they'll even notice. Update. Thank you for all the kind messages and thoughtful advice. It really means a lot that so many people care. A few people asked why I'm even going to the wedding. Sure, there are practical reasons. But mainly, I need the closure. I've always had a complicated relationship with loss. My mom died when I was 5. My family split up soon after. I've lost multiple caregivers to illness, and I learned to start grieving while they were still alive. I've figured out how to handle that kind of grief. And if I skip this wedding, I'll regret it. It's the last time I'll see my childhood family in one place. And if I don't go, it'll feel like I let them win. I don't want to turn this into a public display of trauma, but I won't leave with my head down either. I'm not afraid of them. We barely have a relationship now, but I grew up around these people. I saw my siblings, cousins, nieces, and nephews all the time. They used to bully me into silence, but I'm not a child anymore. I can handle one night. If nothing else, it proves they don't get to push me around anymore. Thanks again for all the support. I'll update again if someone shows me how to upload photos from the app. Comment response. Someone asked why I don't just skip the wedding. I spent $700 on the flight and $200 on a suit. The least I can do is drink someone else's liquor and dance. It feels like a final goodbye. And the cherry on top? They're all very conservative Christians. So I'll be showing up in a suit, with green hair, and my makeup fully done. It'll be the most, I'm here anyway, move I can make. Truthfully, my dad's memory is starting to go. Even if I shared my feelings with him, he'd likely repeat them to everyone. I've accepted that this relationship is one way, because they're not going to ask how I'm doing. More comments. Someone said I should call the bride directly. But 20 years of trauma doesn't get solved over a phone call. This was their final chance to show me they actually want me around. It's not just about the dog. I wanted to be treated like a human being. I asked for direct communication, and instead I got proof that they don't care. So I'm out. I already did my part. I reached out. She said yes. Why should I be the one to follow up and see if she changed her mind? On my dad. Thank you to those who pointed out how messed up it is that this was all handled over email. It's unfortunately not unusual in my family. They always use my dad as a go-between, then later act like it never happened once the awkwardness has passed. My brothers don't even know where I work. They couldn't tell you my relationship status, and I doubt they know my middle name. My dad isn't innocent, but my siblings are responsible for their actions too. I stopped reaching out because I rarely got a response. It's clear they don't really care. Honestly, I could write a book about how I got to this point. But who has the time? Especially these days. He's a 2.5-year-old black and tan hound dog. Just for tax. Post-wedding update. I went to the wedding. It went more or less as I expected, though no one's really ready for a random conga line. There was no surprise invite, no secret plan the bride didn't know about. She just felt bad saying no, so she lied. And even at the wedding, she couldn't bring herself to admit it. No one really said anything to me. The bride's mom didn't speak to me at all. My brother avoided the subject all night, but as he was leaving, he did apologize about the dog. Strangely, it didn't make me feel any better. There wasn't some big confrontation. Mostly because no one really wanted to hear what I had to say. As the reception kicked off, part of me wondered how much I'd actually miss these people. My birth was complicated. I was the result of an affair. My existence broke up 2 marriages. And even though I was just a baby, my family never let me forget that. They've never been shy about how much they resent me for it. Only one of my brothers ever said it out loud, drunk one night, but I've felt it from everyone my whole life. I'm the youngest by far, and I always hoped we'd get closer as I grew up. But now, at 23, I've accepted something painful. I've always been too much to include. I hear about family stuff from my dad, never from them. My niece's car accident, my other niece's miscarriage, my brother's brain tumor. All from my dad in passing. Not one call. Not one message. It's been clear for a while that I'm the only one trying. My service dog, my soulmate. I live with CPTSD, and my service dog is my lifesaver, literally. He helps me during panic attacks, keeps me safe from self-harm, and even lets me do everyday things like go grocery shopping alone. He's my rock, my partner, and my best friend. When I found out my niece was getting married, I asked her, super respectfully, if my dog could come as my plus one. I was flying across the country anyway and couldn't travel without him. She said yes. She even said if I did find a human date, he could still come. For the first time, I felt seen and valued by my family. The betrayal, then came the call. From my dad, of course, not her. He said the mother of the bride wasn't comfortable having a dog at the venue. I explained he's a trained service animal and wouldn't disrupt anything, but the answer stayed the same. They don't like it. I asked for one thing. Let the bride herself tell me if she changed her mind. I never heard from her. So I RSVP'd with my dog's name as my +1. Next day, I woke up to an email from my dad. Not even a text. He said my niece didn't want to be the bad guy, so my dog wasn't welcome. Something in me snapped. I realized I would never be respected in this family. I've always gone out of my way for them, always given them chances, but not once have they given me the basic courtesy of honesty or direct communication. I'm still going. I decided I was still going to the wedding. Why? Because this was for me, not for them. I've spent my life grieving losses. My mom died when I was 5. Several of my caregivers died while I was still young. And this wedding was my goodbye to the family I never truly had. I paid $700 for the flight and $200 for the suit. I figured I might as well drink their liquor, dance my worries away, and wear the boldest outfit possible. So I went. Hair dyed bright green, makeup flawless, looking amazing in my tailored suit. I made damn sure I stood out. If they didn't want my service dog to make guests uncomfortable, then I'd make sure my presence did. The wedding and aftermath. The wedding went as expected. No secret dog invite. No plot twist. My niece had lied. She said yes and didn't want to take it back. No one said much to me. The bride's mom ignored me completely. My brother gave me a half-hearted apology on his way out. And I realized something. I didn't feel sad. I felt ready to walk away. The venue was beautiful. The drinks were free. I had a decent night. But when I got home, I felt like a weight had been lifted. My goodbye, I used to see cutting my family off as losing half my world. Now I see it as clearing space for something better, people who actually love and respect me. My dad's memory is fading. Even if I shared my side, he wouldn't remember. And none of them ever asked what I've been up to. They don't know where I work. Don't know my relationship status. Don't even know my middle name. I've stopped reaching out. I'm done begging to be treated like a human. Ending. To anyone who's felt like the black sheep, the scapegoat, the forgotten one. It's not your fault. You don't have to keep holding on. And sometimes, walking away is the bravest thing you can do. Thanks for listening. If you related to this story, feel free to share your own in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next drama-filled episode.